Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. This is one that we are very excited to deliver. We are going to be covering Chainlink in this video and a huge announcement that took place yesterday. Some really positive news in regards to Chainlink and its adoption by the traditional world. We had news yesterday that one of Australia's largest banks, ANZ, in fact, one of the world's largest banks with well over $1 trillion, actually is using Chainlink CCIP to facilitate tokenized assets. We know the entire world is going to be tokenized, and one reason we're such fans of Chainlink, ladies and gentlemen, is because we believe they are going to be a key player in the tokenization of everything. And from an investment point of view, that makes my mouth water. So we are going to be diving into the announcement in this video. We're then going to be doing a number of things. We're going to be talking about Swift onboarding 3 central banks for CBDCs. And we're going to be joining some dots together because, of course, Chainlink is partnered and the main crypto partner with Swift to facilitate tokenization and, of course, to facilitate things like CBDCs. And then we're going to look a recent announcement that took place yesterday that we covered in our daily market update from Deutsche Bank that essentially are looking to hold crypto and they cite Swift. So we're going to be joining up some dots. But let's kick this video off, guys, with a jump into the announcement. So you guys can head over to allincrypto.com, not allincrypto.com. That's my Twitter. You can follow us there for some speedy updates if you want. But we published an article today on the news. Australia's bank ANZ uses Chainlink CCIP, and we covered the announcement that took place yesterday and the kind of work that's going on. We also looked at some comments from Sergey Nazarov, CEO and co-founder of Chainlink, and everything in between. We talk about Chainlink and how it's changing finance. We also got a number of other articles on Chainlink. But let's go over to Chainlink's Twitter to see the kind of progression of what took place yesterday. So Chainlink yesterday tweeted, one of the largest institutional banks in Australia uses Chainlink CCIP to successfully demonstrate a cross-chain purchase of tokenized assets with ADC, an ANZ issued stablecoin of the Australian dollar. They then go on to say this new development builds on the lessons learned from a recent Swift blockchain interoperability incentives and further showcases how financial institutions can utilize CCIP to facilitate cross-chain transactions across public and private blockchains. So there's often been a real criticism levied against Chainlink, and we've often pushed back on it that the link token isn't used for anything. It is. It's used for the nodes first and foremost, and now it's actually used in paying the fees for CCIP. So there's going to be a lot of demand for the link token. I do believe you can also stake the link token and do a number of other things with it. That's maybe for another deeper dive into Chainlink. Let me know in the comments if that's something you guys want to see. Let's dive over to the article. The article, of course, is titled "The Next Steps for Digital Assets is Together." Tokenized assets are already changing the way banking works, and the technology has the potential to do more if the right pieces can come together. Banks are increasingly exploring use cases involving tokenized assets, with 93% of institutional investors believing in their long-term value across the recent EY report. But this new on-chain financial operating model is currently highly fragmented, with assets and services siloed across different blockchains that don't always immediately work well together or at all. This communication problem limits, I love it how they say communication problem, because people try and reinvent the wheel, guys. It's a messaging service. Because you're messaging in the traditional banking space, we can do the same thing with blockchain. Anyway, this communication problem limits the adoption of tokenized assets by making them inaccessible and illiquid and complicating the integration process for financial institutions. To realize the full benefits of tokenization, the challenge for the industry is to ensure the underlying networks are interoperable. The key to on-chain finance, it talks about a number of things, and it says, according to the Bank of International Settlements, this theoretical unified ledger, which would represent the new type of financial markets infrastructure I've written about before, could capture the full benefits of tokenization by combining central bank money, so CBDCs, tokenized deposits, and tokenized assets on a programmable platform. as well as improving existing processes, so on and so forth. Also in June, Swift worked with more than a dozen major financial institutions and Web3 service platform Chainlink to explore how it could facilitate interoperability between blockchains and existing financial infrastructure. The goal of the work was to provide institutions with a single point of access to multiple networks, minimizing the operation challenges and investments required to institutions. The collaboration sought to leverage Swift's infrastructure and messaging implementations in combination with Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol, CCIP, a blockchain interoperability, so on and so forth. In addition, groups sought to improve the sector's understanding of the technical and business requirements for interacting with businesses and public blockchains and explore the value of Chainlink CCIP. ANZ was an anticipated partner in Swift's work. The lessons from this collaboration will inform the scope of the future research and we hope will pave the way for greater adoption of tokenization. Chainlink are going to be a key player, ladies and gentlemen. It has been ranging for about a year and a half. When you break that range, for me, I love the fact that it's been ranging for that long because, you know, we're just loading up. When you break that range, it's full send, guys. I mean, Chainlink's all-time highs, in my opinion, will get taken out. It's just a matter of time, you know, it's a matter of when, not if, I think, at this point. But we'll see. We could be totally wrong on that. I just think a lot of what we're researching and bringing up on this channel and now writing about paints quite a clear picture. So they go on to say, as a bank, ANZ, so on and so forth. It talks about the building. Let's move on to sort of how this unfolded on the Twitter of Chainlink. Sergey Nazarov then comments, as an Australian and a New Zealand banking group, ANZ, one of the world's largest banks with over $1 trillion in total assets under management, demonstrates the use of CCIP for secure cross-chain stablecoin transactions, the role of Chainlink and CCIP as a standard for intrabank. They could potentially be. Things need to get standardized, like TCIP and things like this, which Sergey has spoken about previously. Leading Australia's bank successfully demonstrates, so on and so forth. ANZ recently worked with Chainlink CCIP to complete transactions to simulate the purchase of tokenized assets. The transactions involved technical integrations of ANZ's digital asset service, technology stack with CCIP, and realized, so on and so forth. Pretty huge news. And then you can see the announcement has been reposted again. So this is colossal. We got some other news in regards to Swift recently, which is certainly interesting. So that's big news, guys. You know, this is a clear example and demonstration of crypto working with traditional finance to change it and innovate it. And actually, if you look at how much money is going to flow through the tokenization of assets, it's in the hundreds of trillions. Chainlink could be a key player in that, and I want to be a part of that. I don't know, is Chainlink maybe at 1 billion, 2 billion in terms of market cap? It could end up in the 60s, hundreds of billions, who knows? But we're not going to speculate on that in this video. So Swift says 3 central banks are testing its CBDC interoperability solution. I wonder who's behind the CBDC interoperability solution. Well, we know that Chainlink, although no mention of Chainlink in this article, are working with Swift for this exact use case, but they don't mention it. So Swift messaging connects more than 1,100 banks, financial institutions and corporations in more than 200 countries and territories. With the rapid development of CBDC technology, the banking network aims to maintain its dominant position in the evolving global payment landscape. So these guys are almost certainly using Chainlink's interoperability solution in regards to doing that through Swift, but they've not mentioned it. This is what I mean by allincrypto.com, guys. We really are going to fill the gaps where, big media companies leave out, because I don't want to give that much attention to the likes of Chainlink. Please do support it. And then we move on to news that came out yesterday. Deutsche Bank to hold crypto for institutional clients. It talks about a number of things, and actually does talk about, it does mention Swift and various other banks like BY Mellon, Standard Charter, and so on. So it's very, very interesting how all these banks are moving towards the tokenization of digital assets. Deutsche Bank are doing this so that they can essentially prepare for tokenization. Chainlink seems to be at the helm of facilitating tokenization. And we're just seeing more and more partnerships and more announcements come out from the Chainlink team. So it's something that I'm very excited about, something we're fully behind. Chainlink is going to be absolutely massive, ladies and gentlemen. To love and leave you, we'll just pull up a chart very, very quickly because Chainlink has essentially just been ranging, 450 days? Something along those lines. We're not quite sure at the moment, but we will pull it up. Yeah, Chainlink has been ranging now for 491 days, nearly 500 days, in a range which we suspect breaks to the upside. And when that sucker breaks, it's going to be, the longer you range, the bigger the move. We're going to be behind that, hopefully on board for it. What you guys decide to do is entirely up to you. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next.